Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center on behalf of Weigels. That's fuel and food. That's fast, fresh, and friendly. Here's a quick weather and Weigels update. Let's start with Weigels. They have an all-new brownie batter milk. If you haven't checked them out, it is delicious. If you like chocolate milk, and I don't know anybody that doesn't love chocolate milk, maybe they don't like it from whatever reason, but most people like chocolate milk. This is like a double or triple chocolatey milk. You definitely owe it to yourself to try the Weigels all-new brownie batter milk. It is delicious. It may remember, or you may recall that nostalgic feeling of putting your spoon or even your finger in the brownie batter bowl. It is delicious. The all-new brownie batter milk. It's only available for a limited time, and it's only available at Weigels. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. They've been serving East Tennessee since 1931 for over 90 years. Check them out. They are at a local Weigels near you. They're everywhere, but hopefully you can pick one up today, a bottle of the brownie batter milk. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. The all-new brownie batter milk is delicious. I'm a big fan of it and pick up a bottle most every time I'm there. Love it at Weigels. By the way, how about the visibility this morning? Some of you might notice it's cold. We're going to get to that. But the visibility may be poor in some areas in gray, not everywhere, but there is some opportunities to encounter some patches of fog this morning. Probably the lowest number there looks like it's centered over the Smokies, but generally those areas from Granger County to Union County, even Claiborne or Hancock County, you might want to watch this morning. There might be some patches of fog to greet you. Now, it is colder in some areas than Knoxville. Knoxville's pretty chilly at 43. I thought you said it'd be 42. Yeah, we're probably going to reach 42, Knoxville. But it's already 36 in Crossville. Well, I wish I had known about that. Yeah, they've been a lot colder. A lot colder. And if you go back to my timeline, weather timeline from last night, I even put that old blue emoji of how the teeth were chattering in the plateau. They're down to 34 right now in Oneida, 39 in Jamestown, while it's 37 in Wartburg. Interesting to note, Wartburg even has a wind chill. You say there's no wind. Well, there's some wind. Some areas might be getting a light wind. I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4 miles an hour currently in Wartburg. Yeah, and 6 miles an hour in Jamestown. So even if you were to pull out the wind chill graphic, like you have to unearth that, kind of dust it off, which I did this morning, it feels like it's 33 in Wartburg. Pretty cold. I say, yeah, if you think it's cold now, wait till tomorrow morning. I mean, my goodness, as I said to my premium members yesterday in a note, I said, it's all downhill from here. As far as morning lows this week, we had a chilly morning yesterday. It was, 48? But this morning, actually it was maybe 50, but got to 48 closer to midnight. We kind of reversed. We've been in a free fall. 66 was the high yesterday. We'll be lucky to hit 60 today in many parts of East Tennessee. Dew points are in the 30s, very low, very dry, and very comfortable, but it is awfully cold enough to produce some frost in some areas this morning, the plateau, but certainly frosty cold for Knoxville first thing tomorrow morning. We've got more clouds, though. They're on the way. If you're outside now, you've been outside, you've been to work, if you're looking outside, I see stars. I see stars. Well, they're going to cloud up here. As you can see, some of the clouds from Bowling Green, from Lexington, they're all dropping down from Kentucky, and we're going to look at that here momentarily. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. I want to say hi to Marilyn Bell. She's encouraging everyone to travel safe. Everyone enjoy your day. So happy that she's here. Karen Robbins, one of my premium members, also says, good morning, David. It's 38. Thank you for that update. Love it. 38 on the plateau. She's in the Fairfield Glade area, 63 degrees inside our house. Well, that's comfortable, I guess, right? I guess you have control over that. We don't always have control. I don't think we have any control on what you can experience. At least you can control getting your vehicle and go to, I guess, toward Florida where it's warmer. But anyway, Danny Feedback says, good morning. Go Vols. I'm going to have that Vols forecast for Alabama coming off a pretty big, exciting, nail-biting win over Florida in overtime this past Saturday. But this Saturday, we're taking on the Tide of Alabama. My goodness. It's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be one that everyone's going to watch. They'll be glued to their seats at Neyland if they've got a hot ticket or watching it on television. I'll get to that here in about 3 more slides here. But today, let me delay no further. How warm do you think we're going to get? Maybe 60. I don't think it'll be much higher. I got a 62 for Athens. Athens is really the southern valley. So, but 56 for Sevierville, that's kind of chilly. And I don't expect winds to be much of a factor today, about 3 to 8, but something curiously. There's a front coming down. It's interesting because between 2 and 5 p.m., go ahead and mark your calendar because Captain Accurate likes to be bold. That's what I'm going to do right now. 2 to 5 p.m. this afternoon. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a gust 25 to 30. So where did this wind come from? if you're trying to rake some leaves, let's say this afternoon, it's like it was calm this morning, and all of a sudden, an approaching front, suddenly the winds kick up between 2 and 5. 25 to 30 wouldn't surprise me. I'm just throwing out there. Since you got up early, you decided to watch us, I want to watch the live stream. I wanted to give you the best weather intel I could provide you. It's 56, or that's my expectation for Crossville today, and 51 for a high in Oneida. Now, we have been dry. Let's be fair. Since Tropical Storm Helene rolled up here, we've had a very dry outlook. We have .02. I got some updates here. There's the dryness over the last 30 days. A few patches of purple suggest about 1/10 of an inch. They're a lot drier in Huntsville, Alabama, where they could use a drink of water. But when you think about the fact that we are still, in some cases, under a drought, things may be it's getting obviously dry, and it's only going to get drier. Now, what jumps up this page for the extended almanac is that blue square. Yesterday's high was 66 degrees. That is true. In fact, I'll come back on camera for a second. 66 technically occurred at 1:50 in the morning. Well, that's weird. That's kind of like tilting the scale. Yes, 1:50 in the morning, we hit 66 degrees. But then we bounced back to 65 at McGee Tyson Airport at 4 and 5 in the afternoon. And I believe it was 67 or 68 in Oak Ridge. So it was warm relative to where it's going to be today, because today is going to be colder. Normal high and low is 72, 49. So we are going to be about at least 12 degrees below average today. And where are we? Oh, record highs. You'll love this. This goes back to William McKinley and Chester A. Arthur. You're talking 1897 and 1881, respectively. We hit 87. We're not even close to that. So most of these record highs and lows today are going back into the vault. The record low is 27 from 1872 with Ulysses S. Grant. So we're nowhere close to 27 this morning. Some could complain that it's in the 30s. It is cold, but it's not record territory. And if you can have 80s, 80s, 80s for the first week, when we had 5 of those in a row from last Wednesday the 2nd through the 6th, those are the days that we're going to be remembered as fondly as the warm days, but the cold air is certainly on its way. It is 6:47. I want to say good morning to you. What do I expect for the Alabama game? Nothing but sunshine. It's one of those things where it'll be nice and sunny, bright, but because it's a 3:30 game, as opposed to the 7 o'clock game that we had with Florida, temperature would be varied, but it should be room temperature, right? 70 degrees for kickoff. By the end of the fourth quarter, we should be easing back into the mid-60s, so it will feel a tad cooler, but the winds aren't going to move much at all on your Saturday. This game's on ABC, so we won't be prevented. Many of us who couldn't see ESPN as readily, you'll have an easier time watching it on television if you don't have a hot ticket of this probably sold-out game for Alabama. They're number 7. We got moved down to 11. I don't know why. I don't have the good intel for that, but I will tell you it's going to be a matchup. We're going to watch it closely. 5-1. There's a lot riding on this game, and we're going to be pulling for our Vols, no doubt. Now, I did say we beat Florida. I wanted to show you their recovery efforts and how far they've come in terms of power outages. You can see they still have some river flooding in the green areas here, but I find it interesting how the colors are beginning to disappear. Some of them have turned blue, which is less than 100, or maybe a less than 1,000. But this was, 3.1 million, I believe, was reported from the time that Milton rolled across. There was 500,000 or more in Hillsborough County, that's Tampa. The Tampa County, Florida, now down to 88,000. And Orlando, pretty much down to about 1,000. So they sure know how, I would say, compliments to them, they know how to handle, they're battle proven with hurricanes. I'm not saying it's a piece of cake or a cakewalk for them, but they know how to dispatch, they know how to get things in order. And obviously the cleanup will continue long after power is restored, but I just thought I'd put that out there for perspective because the colors have in fact improved, as many of us have been praying for Florida. Meanwhile, frost advisories have already been posted for the Commonwealth, and if you're quick to say, why aren't we shaded blue? We will be. You wait till about 3:30 when the afternoon shift from the National Weather Service Morristown comes in, they would poof, suddenly we're under a frost right. It's not there now, but it will be later because it's going to be dropping into about the mid-30s tonight. I suspect that the folks in Commonwealth of Kentucky are quick on the draw, but we will see that fill in at Tennessee, no doubt. Some of the purple areas represent freeze warnings, and that covers a lot of Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, as well as Chicago and back throughout Illinois and parts of Wisconsin. Just want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. This is a good time as I look at the national map to say good morning to Mary. Mary Morgan says, good morning, David. She's enjoying her cup of coffee. I imagine it could be a Weigel's cup if she's on the go. Happy to see Mary here. And Steve Stone says good morning. He's on here wanting to say hello and give me a weather report with some sunshine. Really harder to see that today, but we've got more days in the future, no doubt. And, I got Audrey. She's on here. She's asking about the allergies. Well, we're going to talk a little about smoke, but I will tell you a good allergy update is that once the frost comes in, Audrey, things will improve. Typically, we get that first frost, and ragweed tends to go bye-bye. It takes the edge off. And so you might find that if you are having to medicate or whatever you need to do to protect yourself from the allergies, ragweed typically falls off once we get the first frost. And I will point out the average first frost, take a note, is October 24th. Now tomorrow is not the 24th. Tomorrow is the 16th. So it's coming in 8 days earlier. Could that be a sign of winter? And you'd like to know. I tell you, my premium members know I'm going to be posting my winter weather outlook in just a matter of days. And they know the number of days. We're doing a day count, but they know it's coming. And if you want to join us, love to have you on the premium service. By the way, as we look down toward Florida, things are quiet, but there are indications that something new might be brewing in the Atlantic for another named storm. If you're keeping track, we've had now 0.02 that occurred just a few days ago, 0.02 inches of rain in the White Arrow in October. It's typically a dry month. Yes, we will get more rain in October, but it may not come as readily or as hopeful or as quickly as you might wish. Future smoke, little hint of it in the atmosphere. This is vertically integrated, meaning throughout the entire column of air. It's usually from multiple sources, and it can come from wildfires that are near and far away. And in this case, with this cold plunge of air, look what it does to the smoke. It pushes, it goes bye-bye. Most of that smoke, even the smoke that's moderate in yellow and red across the Dakotas and Montana, stays away from us as some of the cooler air, colder air, moves down from the Great Lakes. So we will keep things nice and smoke-free. No smoking here for a good couple of days after we get through this afternoon. So vertically integrated smoke has now been checked. Let's go to the next map. This is interesting, 60% chance. I'm thinking Puerto Rico might have reason to watch for a possible Nadine. Nadine, is that just a random, you just pull that name out of a hat? No, that's a predetermined name. Because remember, we had Milton. So the next name is the end name, and that's a boy, girl. I guess that's the convention, and that's the way it's been for many years. 30% chance something near, maybe not far from Belize or Cancun. So we got two storm potentials going across the Atlantic. The Hurricane Center watching that closely. But Nadine and Oscar could be on the naming list here in the next couple of days. We'll keep an eye on that. By the way, it's 6:53. Just want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, would love to say hi to you. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the all-new Brownie Batter Milk, it is available for a limited time. If you love chocolate milk, you like double chocolate, I call this triple chocolate. It's that delicious. It's delicious. You got to try it. And if you haven't tried it, you'll know that it's probably only around for a short period of time. Why do I say that? Because Weigel's needs room on their shelves for the next milk that they might have tested out. So check them out. It's just better when it's fresh. Farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. The all-new Brownie Batter Milk is delicious. Some of you have had it multiple bottles. I've had multiple bottles. I get the big bottle, and then I start doing the smaller bottles for lunch. It's just one of those things you might want to grab before the day is through. The Atlantic tropical names, we've covered that. Let's get to the sunrise time. It's like I'm tapping my foot. When's the sun up? You've got to wait to practically 7:45. Oh, my goodness. Sunrise, 7:43. We haven't even changed the clocks yet. That goes on early November. But notice sunrise and sunset time. It goes to bed now at 7 o'clock. It went down at 7:01 yesterday, and some of you caught the comet. I posted a picture. Some of you had some great pictures. Thank you for. Do you realize what we've had in the last 6 months or more? Well, we've had the total solar eclipse. You did because I drove 12 hours round trip to Minster, Ohio to see the total solar eclipse in April. And then we had the northern lights just pop up out of nowhere on May the 10th. Then we had the northern lights again on October 10th, just a few days ago, 5 days ago. Then we had the comet. And then we had, of course, Helene. We had Milton. We've had the fourth wettest May on record. It's just amazing what's happened in just the last couple months, astronomically as well as meteorologically speaking. It's been cool. But there will be more opportunities to check out the comet, hopefully in the coming days, because I believe it's visible until about the 22nd of October. But tonight we might have more clouds. And you can see the clouds are beginning to build. They're coming in from the north and west. Bus stop forecast this morning will be cool and stay relatively cool because pickup will still be in the upper 50s. About 49 at 10 a.m. 2 o'clock to 3:30 will be near 60, but not much hotter or warmer than that. Temperatures are very cool in blue. I see 36 there in Johnson City. I see 43 in Knoxville and Asheville, while our friends in Memphis are basking in the 50s. They're at 56, while it's 46 in Huntsville, Alabama. We're focused on Alabama this week. Dew point temperatures are very dry. They're very comfortable. That's not much of a factor. But let's get to the headlines. It's 6:55. My goal is to be done here in about 5 minutes. Clouds today will be on the increase. You'll get some hazy sun. And yes, even some drizzle. Pockets of drizzle will be possible today. But the big story is where the blue chattering of teeth appear. The frosty cold. I didn't know I was supposed to bring in my potted plant. Well, it's up to you. You can bring it in or you could cover it up. Kind of curious to know what you might be doing. But chilly on Wednesday will be mostly sunny. Wednesday's high will be lucky to reach 57. So it's even colder tomorrow. 43 for your current temperature. We have no wind to speak of, so there's no wind chill locally, but certainly there could be in some areas in the plateau. We highlighted that at the top of the live stream. Valley Planner, look at that. By lunchtime, we're barely 56. Barely 56. And maybe some spots of drizzle develop primarily the afternoon, but it could come down sooner for our friends in Kentucky as it drops down from the north and west. Precipitation chances look like they're pretty spotty, although zero, I should say, but there could be a spot of rain or even a mountain snowflake tonight. Just one of those things where you say, man, I didn't know it was going to be that cold. I'm here to declare, I'm telling you, it's going to be that cold, but it won't be severe. Thankfully, there are not too many colors here. This is the first green area of general thunderstorms. They placed that over parts of Florida, out to the west and parts of Arizona and New Mexico and Colorado, and even some spotty or maybe scattered showers and storms across West Virginia and Ohio for today. But down here, if we get some drizzle, it's one of those whoop-de-doo, I saw a few raindrops. Not a big deal. It's not going to cause any alarm. But tonight, maybe another spot of rain possible. Wednesday looks mostly sunny, so there's no coloring here. And on Thursday, all the thunderstorm activity either appears down toward Key West or all the way to the west in parts of the Rockies, Utah, Colorado, and so it goes. But it will be quiet Thursday as well as exact sunshiny skies. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and did I say Monday? Yeah, a lot of sun in October. It is not unheard of. As a high-pressure dome begins to weaken, it opens the door for a few specks of rain. Look where that rain is at midday. It's like it's over Jonesville. It's over western Virginia. Potentially some spots of rain, maybe around Jellicoe. But that's before midday for them. But if it comes down here, it might occur during the afternoon drive. So we got a little trough. That's going to be the wind kick start, right? It's got to kick start some wind, I think, between 2 and 5. So if you get a sudden gust of 25 to 30 and you're raking leaves, you'll say, man, I wish I had known that wind was coming. It's coming. It might only be for a 3-hour window, but it will be gusty for just a little while before it slows down tonight. Some snowflakes appear in blue across West Virginia on Wednesday. But we've got a beautiful day tomorrow and Thursday. It's just a little on the cool side. Some like jacket weather. A light jacket will probably serve you well, especially in the mornings when you will see your breath and we will have some frost in the grass and in the ground. So make sure you're aware that that's coming. By the way, it's 6:59. Time now to update you. Notice how specific I got here in the white text. I put clouds, hazy sun, drizzle possible, but gusts 25 plus between the hours of 2 to 5. So maybe about, 3-hour window. So you're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, a couple of hours, you might get a gust of wind, but generally it's calm. I mean, it's calm and light now. It should stay like that for most of the morning and through the early afternoon. But suddenly, if it kicks up, you know that trough is approaching. 58 for a high in Morristown is what I expect. Only 51 for Oneida, one of the cooler spots I have on my map here. If you're in Campbell County, La Follette, 56. And if you're in Oak Ridge, I think you'll nudge 60 today, as would say Kingston and Rockwood, about 60 degrees today. Traveling today to the northeast, even cooler. Charleston, West Virginia, high of 51. If you're headed to Atlanta, 66. And if you're headed to Memphis, 68 degrees. It is 7 o'clock straight up. Clouds, spotty rain, some mountain snowflakes, but the big story that everybody's going to be either happy about or moaning about would be the frost. But it does help the allergies. To Audrey's point, it'd be nice to get rid of some of the allergies, and the frost will and actually help. It does tend to help. But look at these lows tonight. Oh my goodness, it's below freezing in Oneida. I think that's the case. It's below freezing in Wartburg, and it's probably at or below freezing for Kingston, Fairfield Glade, Lake Tansy, and Crossville. So that hopefully gives you some perspective. Jonesville 32. I have us down to 35 in Knoxville. So if this is what you're looking for, anyone who's excited about the cold, let me know. I see Chad. He's excited about something more than the cold. He wants it to snow. I've had people say, if it's going to get this cold, it might as well snow. I can't disagree with Chad. I have to say, when it gets this cold, I'm ready for a change in the season. By the way, Dawn Rumsey says, good morning, David. She bundled up. She's got a hot cup of coffee, perhaps Weigels as well. All is well. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, Dawn, for being on here. And I got Alice on YouTube. She's giving me a weather report. She's got 37 degrees right now in Glen Mary. Glad to have her here as well. All of it very exciting to have you guys on the call. So let's get to the nuts and bolts stuff. That's tonight, down to 35, down to 34 in Maryville. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. So when you see a forecast like this, and there's not a whole lot of rain, the tendency is to think, oh, weather people could just take a break. How could I take a break when you got comets, northern lights? You got an Alabama football game to look at, and you got more frost potential. I'm still just as active on my weather maps and my forecasts as I am ever, but it is sunny. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a gradual warming trend back to the mid-70s. So by Saturday, you might say it's room temperature, but as the old comedian Stephen Wright once said, every room is room temperature. Dun-dun-dun. Okay, so any temperature you want to keep your room. I heard from Karen, she likes maybe it's 63 inside the house. So whatever room temperature you want it to be is the temperature you choose it to be. But look at the cold this morning. I think it's even colder Thursday morning. Boo! Or some of you, yay! So we're down to about 33 in Knoxville. Don't be surprised if some of our friends in Oneida are in the upper 20s come Thursday morning. It could be that cold, that fast. And again, the average frost, they call it the median first frost, is October 24th, and tomorrow is the 16th, so that would come, I believe, 8 days early. 8 days early for the first frost, but we'll take what we can get. It's much more pleasant by Sunday, Monday of next week. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of that all-new brownie batter milk, I hope you'll do so. It's available for just a limited time. They also have great hot coffee. If you're new to East Tennessee, you can fill up your tank, and also grab some goodies like the brownie batter milk or some hot drinks during the cold spell that we're under at this point. Anyway, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.